Good afternoon.
Yeah, hello, you. Yuan is actually head of IEEE Standards Association. Please correct me if I'm wrong. And Yuan also holds multiple other official positions at IEEE. And we're delighted to have you with us. Thank you so much for joining. And yeah, I will. I'm passing it to you. Thank you.
Thank you. So one quick question. Should I share my screen or you will advance the slides for me? I can do either way.
So you need to click the button present, and you will be able to upload your slide, and we will be able to start it.
Okay, I probably will do a share screen. Okay, give me 1 second.
Yeah,
So
you can do
good,
either.
af-
Yes.
good afternoon. It's my great honor to speak at this important meeting, especially in the current world. So give me 1 second to share my screen. Um, so I will be talking about metaverse and AI and sustainability in my, I believe it's like 30 minutes. So okay.
I also, while we're having this pause, I also wanted to say that Yuan is actually a director at IEEE Board of Directors. So it is a very high position at IEEE.
Thank you. Uh, where we are. Okay. Could you see my screen?
Yeah, I'm adding it. Yeah, now everyone can see it.
Okay, so let's talk about the metaverse. I'm going to talk about why metaverse is the next biggest thing. I'm not just saying next big thing, but I'm saying next biggest thing. So the concept is that we will be we have been hearing like the rise of AI starting from February or March timeframe. Some people are concerned about or questioning if AI is replacing metaverse as a hot topic. The metaverse is no longer a hot topic, but that is not our view. That is not our observation. So I will explain to you why we predict that the metaverse is facing a great opportunity for explosive and disruptive growth, and also we will work together to accelerate the takeoff of the metaverse industry for sustainability and humanity. So first of all, let's take a look at the metaverse and AI. So we believe AI will help boost the development of metaverse on both the supply and the demand side. Why? Because uh, first of all, when we are talking about the metaverse, we are talking about large scale and fine-grained virtual worlds, virtual objects, virtual scenes, and virtual characters. So if we create those digital content with our human labor, it will be almost a mission impossible. But with the help of generative AI, we will be able to create those virtual content at 100 or even 1,000 times faster. So that would be something like making impossible possible. So we call that enriching the content. Metaverse will without AI, metaverse will face the challenge of lack of content, but AI can help enrich the content of metaverse. And also, as another aspect is about NPC, non-player characters, or you can say that virtual characters. So in metaverses, there will be hundreds of millions or even billions of virtual characters. So they can be driven by generative AI so that they could provide deeply personalized, interactive experiences and services for users. So that's another important aspect from the supply side that AI can help drive the intelligent non-player characters in metaverse. And the third one, some of you may have watched the demo of the Apple Vision Pro or the Meta Quest 3. So those AR or MR devices, in order to precisely place virtual objects onto the real world, they need to have a very precise understanding of the real world. So AI, especially its subset computer vision, can directly help devices understand the world. That's another very important dimension. Also, helping devices understand the users is also very important because, like in Apple Vision Pro or like the Meta Quest 3 and many other devices, they are using your gesture, your hand, and your like eyeball tracking to understand your intent, what interactions you want to make. So those kind of things will also rely on AI, especially like machine learning, those kind of deep learning, those kind of technologies to make the understanding more precise and more correct. So that's the fourth aspect. So overall, we believe AI will help the growth of metaverse from the supply side. But more importantly, let's look at the demand side. So demand side is like metaverse. Previously, some people will question who will need metaverse. It's like metaverse is not a rigid demand. However, AI is driving a transformation in the labor market, which will indirectly make metaverse a rigid demand. Let me explain to you why. So, in look at the diagrams. In many professions, generative AI will significantly improve the skills of amateurs. So previously, our human beings, the skill level distribution is like a pyramid. 20% or 25% of people, their skill level is above average, so they can call themselves professionals, and they can make money by performing that skill. They can call that a job. But people with skill level lower than average, they are amateurs, so they cannot call themselves professionals. They are not eligible to make a living because if your skill level is below average, who will pay you for doing that? So that is the current situation. But with generative AI, the skill level of any human being will be significantly improved. Let's say like 90 points or like 95 points. So that would be the plateau shape on the right. So which sounds like a good thing, by the way. Like everybody's skill level is significantly improved. However, as a result, the average is also significantly improved. So only a very very small number of people can continue to be called professionals and make a living doing that as a job, which means more and more people, many people, they will have to look for either new job opportunities or they should just enjoy fewer working hours and more leisure time. So we are facing new needs. Either we need to provide new job opportunities or we need to provide new facilities and services for people's more leisure time. So where can we accommodate those needs? If we accommodate those needs in the real world, we will face another challenge, which is called sustainability. So that's why we believe accommodating those needs in metaverses is probably the most sustainable and cost-effective approach. So that's why we believe AI will also help boost the development on the demand side. Let's also take a look at how metaverse can help AI in turn. So the conclusion is that the metaverse will also help boost the development of AI. So the further development of AI, especially when we are talking about the generalization of capabilities of large models, like the embodied AI, like the so-called artificial general intelligence (AGI), they all require a real-world training environment to obtain massive multimodal training data. But if we use if we use our real world to provide such a data, such a training environment, it would be financially not good, and with very high risk, safety and so on, and also energy consumption and carbon emission. So metaverse can provide such a training environment with the lowest cost and risk, and also the highest efficiency and diversity, so thereby helping boost the development of AI. This is not just our prediction. This is already happening. Actually, in some industries, particularly autonomous driving industry, so every company has been testing their autonomous driving algorithms in virtual worlds on virtual roads. So we believe that is already happening practice, and which will be more and more common in other vertical industries as well. So overall, we believe AI and the metaverse are synergistically accelerating and helping each other. And so we say metaverse is the next stage of digitalization. So if we look at the history of digitalization or digital transformation, we can say that the digitalization 1.0 was automation, digitalization 2.0 was interconnection, along with the rise of internet from desktop internet to mobile internet and the Internet of Things. That digitalization 3.0 was about personalization, which is about Web 2.0, massive user-generated content and personalized recommendations. And the digitalization 4.0 is happening and exploding, which is about, we call that intelligentization, which is about using AI in everything, including generative AI, AI generated content, AI generated services, and so on. And the next phase we believe would be metaverse. We also call that realitization, because thanks to the digital technologies, we human beings, we uh, invented, developed, and accumulated during the past decades. So for the first time, we are able to develop new digital realities. We are able to develop new digital universes. So that's why we call this realitization. So we are currently between two stages of digitalization: the already exploding intelligentization and the upcoming realitization, or AKA metaverse. So let's take a look at metaverse, its relationship with everything. Uh, there are fundamentally, as there is still no common understanding of the definition of a metaverse, but we try to give it a most inclusive definition. So there are two views. One view we call that experiential view, which means metaverse refers to a kind of experience in which the outside world is perceived by the users. Users could be humans or non-humans. So perceived by the users as being a universe, and that universe is built upon digital technologies. So there are three major types of metaverses. It could be either a digital and different universe. We call that virtual reality. Uh, it could be digital extension of our current universe. You can call that augmented reality or mixed reality. You can also call that a digital counterpart. The third type is digital counterpart or digital copy of our current universe. We may call that a digital twin. So these three types have covered all the variants, all the possible application scenarios of metaverse. But there's another view, another dimension. Some people like to describe metaverse from the functional perspective. So functional perspective or functional view, some people say metaverse is the next version of World Wide Web, Web 3.0 or 4.0. Some people say metaverse is the next generation of the internet, when the web is different from internet. So web is actually, you can say, is a subset of the internet. And more, I would say, broadly, some people say metaverse is the next stage of digitalization. I truly believe that. So metaverse will have a profound impact on everything, on our work, our play, our life, on all the industry, consumer industry, academia, and the government usage. So while we believe AI is a very big thing, AI is transforming production. AI is transforming forces of production and the relations of production. We believe metaverse will redefine production and redefine life. So that's why we say metaverse is the next biggest thing. Let's also talk about the relationship between metaverse and the sustainability. So metaverse will be a cure for sustainability challenges. Why? Some people are concerned about like metaverse infrastructure could be very energy consumption, consuming and also cause much carbon emission. Of course, we need to develop and build metaverse infrastructure with low energy consumption and low carbon emissions as fast as possible. But meanwhile, we should also recognize that metaverse can also be used in environmental protection, education, climate science research, and other fields to provide more support for challenge for addressing global climate change. But and more importantly, maybe most importantly, is that metaverse will transfer more and more activities from the real world to digital worlds, reducing energy consumption and carbon emissions. So collectively, we believe metaverse will provide an effective path to promote sustainable development and address climate change. So that's why we believe metaverse will be a cure for sustainability challenges, and we should work together to advance metaverse technology in a sustainable manner and for greater sustainability. So let me briefly talk about how IEEE has been driving standardization efforts to pave the road to the metaverse. We have been organizing the IEEE Metaverse Congress as a series of virtual hybrid sessions to provide a global and comprehensive view of the metaverse. So from the themes I listed on my screen, you can see that we have been addressing the trendy topics of metaverse. At the beginning, we were talking about the definition of metaverse, and later we started talking about how to develop and deploy the metaverse. And starting from this year, we were talking about the synergistic acceleration of the metaverse and AI, and Web 3.0 and NFT, things like that. So collectively, we have already attracted 500,000 attendees, online and offline, making this IEEE Metaverse Congress one of the best known events in the global metaverse industry. So you can stay tuned by visiting metaverse.ieee.org, which is very simple, metaverse.ieee.org. And we also have several ongoing standards projects. 2048 is about metaverse terminology and definitions and taxonomy. So we believe this will become a very popular standard, similar to in autonomous driving industry, which is my favorite example. So everybody has been talking about, hey, your company is developing a level 4 autonomous driving, and my company just delivered a level 3. So those levels are from SAE G3016 standard, specifying from level 0 to level 5 different levels of autonomous driving. So we believe metaverse also need such kind of terminology and taxonomy standard to set people's expectations and the roadmap for the industry. And we are also developing standards for metaverse-related ethics. For example, the 1716 and the 1716.1 addressing ethically aligned design for metaverse systems. And other topics we are standardizing, including identity framework, including blockchain-based energy metaverse application, including metaverse financial system, ecosystem reference models, and so on. We also have two IC stands for industry connections activities. So in IEEE, IC is a very different animal. It can address everything except for standards development itself. So it's basically like a study group, a long-lasting study group, but it could also be helping with the deployment and the adoption of standards. So we have two ICs so far. Persistent computing for metaverse is addressing how to create persistent virtual worlds. And the decentralized metaverse initiative is about how to create a decentralized metaverse in a good way. And lastly, let me introduce you something we are about to launch, which is a new program, the Metaverse Acceleration and Sustainability Association. So the background is that we found that, okay, there's a huge opportunity for metaverse to take off. So we want to work together to catch this opportunity and make sure everything will happen in a sustainable way. So this new program includes 7 work streams, but I'm not going to promote each work stream. Instead, I want to highlight that all these work streams are very necessary elements, no matter within any organization. Those work streams are necessary for the metaverse industry, the metaverse ecosystem to really take off. So we carefully designed those work streams. Number one, we will be developing landscape outlook and roadmaps for metaverse. You can see on my screen, this is a draft. metaverse technology landscape, including spatial computing, which is about extended human sensor interactions, persistent computing, which is about persistent how to create persistent virtual worlds, and the consensus computing, which is about digital finance and economy, aka like digital assets, decentralization, blockchain, and so on. We will also be developing open standards, conformity assessment, and certification based on our collaboration with other SDOs and also our own gap analysis. So we can develop fast lane standards to fill the gaps. We will also, this is probably one of the most important work streams. We will also develop open source reference implementations and pilot applications for metaverse, which include but not limited to software, hardware, design, and data. And also we will be facilitating the launch of pilot applications in various niche markets and vertical industries. Digital assets pool and exchange. So we found that the growth of virtual economy and the digital economy is an inevitable trend. So we want to embrace this trend. And also we figure out that, okay, so in some cases, especially when we are talking about industrial metaverse, those digital twin assets, virtual assets, are not being reused from project to project, which is a huge waste. So we want to solve this problem by providing metaverse digital assets pool and digital assets exchange, so we can have a better ecosystem based on digital assets. We will also organize competitions and rankings related to metaverse. For example, this is a challenge we co-organized with AWE earlier this year. So we got 230 teams submitted their results, and collectively the impact included we reduced 300k tons carbon. We impacted 132 million people, which was huge. So we will keep doing those kind of competitions, including contests, hackathons, and challenges. And we will also organize some rankings to constructively foster innovation. And of course, advocacy and lobbying is also very important to for better acceptance of adoptions of metaverse by the industry. I mean, not only the metaverse industry, but also all the other vertical industries and academia for sure, and the governments and the policymakers, and of course consumers and the public. And lastly, we have been hearing concepts called responsible AI development. So we are also beginning to we should work on the responsible metaverse development as well. So we drafted 5 principles for responsible metaverse development: safety, privacy, ethics, inclusion, and sustainability. So we need to work together to make sure that the metaverse is providing us a bright future instead of a dystopian future. So lastly, well, I think I can. We are actually in the phase of call for founding members for this program. But the point here I'm sharing with you is that I think the most important takeaway is that metaverse is the next biggest thing, which is a very cross-disciplinary and cross-industry topic, and we look forward to work together with all of you, to accelerate the arrival of the real takeoff of metaverse, and making sure it will happen in a sustainable way, and also contributing to the larger sustainability and humanity. So I stop here. I put my contact information on my screen. By the way, if you heard of the Metaverse Standards Forum, I have also been a supporter for the Metaverse Standards Forum from the very beginning. I'm an initial director of the Metaverse Standards Forum board of directors, and also currently serving as a chair for Metaverse Standards Forum. But of course, as introduced before, my major role for today, especially, I'm the president of the IEEE Standards Association and also a member on the IEEE board of directors. So welcome to contact me by email or connect with me on LinkedIn. Thank you so much. I'll stop here, and maybe we can take a couple of questions. Sergio, you are muted. You are mute.
Yeah, forgetting all the time to unmute myself. I have actually two cats, and the smaller one is starting to attack the bigger one, and it started to become noisy. So this is why I'm doing this. So thank you so much for this. Very insightful presentation. And I actually, metaverse is widely discussed topics, and some people are actually kind of do not put much trust into this. And maybe by addressing some questions, we can change it a little bit, because I literally read the comment on social media by some reputable person that, if metaverse is not the town in France, and there is a town in France which is called metaverse, this is just a computer game. And the result of this may be something which is happening on crypto conferences, because I have heard quite a few times speeches of metaverse projects, and the way they present it really looks like a computer game, but for some reason it is called metaverse. However, on your presentation, it is becoming obvious that it is not only like related to gaming, it is related to many verticals and many industries. And I wanted to ask, what do you think? Again, it is a developing industry. So basically, we're not talking about some like precise question. We're not looking for some precise answers that it will be like this and exactly like this. It is just like a vision or direction or a pattern. You see, what industries except of gaming do you think will be affected by metaverse?
So, of course, gaming is one of the very representative industries for metaverse usage, for metaverse applications. But others like news and media, like entertainment. Well, entertainment is related to gaming, remotely working together. Those kind of applications are all very related to metaverse. I would also like to refer to Second Life, which is widely recognized as the first embodiment of metaverse, the metaverse concept. So Second Life itself was not designed as a game. It was designed as an environment for people to, virtually live together, play together, and social and so on. So of course, yeah, social applications, social networking is a very important important application. But I think fundamentally, that's why I love the name of Second Life. So we have only one life in this real world, but with metaverse or metaverses, we can have multiple different lives in virtual universes. I think which is that is the most important point. That's why I like the name Second Life, because it precisely described why people need a virtual environment or virtual universe. Because in that way, you can live a second life. You can live multiple second lives. So which provides tremendous or infinite possibilities to our work and our life. A simple example is that, like today, I could not, because I have another commitment here in New York, so I could not come to join you in person. But we can still have this conversation. I can still deliver my speech virtually. So, which is a very preliminary example of what we could do later in the 2D, 3D, and the immersive virtual universe. So I think the potential is huge. It's probably much, much bigger than anything we have seen in humans' history of technology.
Well, thank you so much for this response. We have a question from the audience, from one of the speakers, but I would like right now to follow up with the question related to the industries, and then I will ask the question from the audience. Because they are kind of like going in the proper direction. We are speaking of the education industry, because there are a couple of education programs which are happening right now in Ukraine, where participants and involved people are considering applying the metaverse to the educational process. So some virtual teachers will go through the process of educating people, maybe implementing some tasks, maybe implementing some gamification procedures. Uh, what do you think on this? Do you think it is a good idea? What can be your, if you think that this is a good idea, what maybe can be your suggestions on this topic? And just
It is definitely a good idea. I think it will significantly increase or improve the equal opportunities for education. For example, like in the real world, some children they never have a chance to visit the Forbidden City in Beijing or the Metropolitan Museum in New York or like some museums in Europe. But with metaverse, they could virtually be there. They could virtually visit and experience every like a painting, those kind of sculptures, things like that. They could even watch those items more closely than people who are in person in those museums. So I think that's a huge advancement in terms of the equality of education opportunities. And also, I should also point out that this is just a very at the very initial stage. Those are even we call that education metaverse application in education. Those are actually some renaming from like a virtual reality or augmented reality applications. But I'm not saying that is not good. I mean like those kind of things they used to call themselves VR and AR. Now they call themselves metaverse. I'm fine with that. Although metaverse is sort of like a ultimate goal, so with much more better experience. But still, I think at this stage, I think it's a good thing for people to call some preliminary VR or AR or 3D applications as metaverses or metaverse applications, even they are still preliminary. But the industry will need some time to really grow to the ideal stage. So I think those examples you can say from AR or AR or those 3D worlds. Those are all applicable to the I would say the preliminary application or scenarios of metaverse.
well, thank you so much for this. So now the question from the audience. I'm quoting. Great presentation. Could you please elaborate more details on the borderline between virtual and digital realms in the terms of metaverse definition?
So basically, I believe you are talking about like difference between like a virtual universe or virtual reality and the digital twin. So digital twin is like as I said, there are three different types. So virtual reality is typically about a completely different universe. Similar to you are playing a game, you are actually in a virtual environment, which is not really relevant to your real world, not relevant to your daily job, your real environment, and so on. But the digital twin is about particularly digital twin has extended application in industrial metaverse, so-called industrial metaverse. Digital twin is about you will for everything in the real world, like in the factory, for every machine, for every element, it will have a digital counterpart or digital copy in the digital world, and then by manipulating, by simulating or the operations or behaviors of those virtual objects, you will have a better understanding how the real world will perform. And based on that, you can adjust you can do a better risk management, or you can improve the performance of the real world. So that's the so-called digital twin, which is currently very popular in the so-called industrial metaverse. And the augmented reality is the third one, which is about a mixture of real world and virtual objects. Those virtual objects may not have their counterpart in the real world, but those are the experience is a combination of the real world and the virtual objects. For example, after you wear like AR glasses, you can say a virtual like a advertisement board on the side of the road, but in the reality, there's no such kind of a board. So such kind of thing is one of the examples, providing additional point of interest, advertisement, and so on in the real world, and enriching the experience once you put the AR glasses on. So you can tell that those are three very different application scenarios: different virtual universe, mixed universe with a mixture of the real world and the virtual objects, and mirror world. Like a digital twin is basically like a mirror everything in the real world and creating its virtual counterpart. But those are all classified as a metaverse according to our definition. And I also believe our definition currently is the most inclusive one and has been accepted by more and more people.
Understood. Thank you so much. The question to Umit Kali, who is actually a speaker and who will be speaking in the next section, in the following section of today's date. Please let us know if you have any other questions, or if it addresses the questions, or anyone from audience have more questions. So while people are thinking about the questions, I actually wanted to go to slightly unrelated to metaverse questions. Umit says thanks. Yeah, we basically unrelated to metaverse question, we actually the question about the standards. So we are currently doing some work, and we are going to increase this work regarding the potential involvement of Ukrainian researchers or research group or institutions to the IEEE SA, to IEEE Standards Association activities. I wanted to ask, maybe you can provide some high-level description for the audience to know how this process works in general. So we will, of course, will be able to guide them through the particular details of this, because also I'm the member of the working group, and we have other colleagues who can help with this. But just on a high level, so our audience can understand how the process works and why this is beneficial and why it is important.
So that could be another 30 minutes speech, but let me make it short. So standards are sort of like we use standards to shape the future of the industry. So previously, like the industry feels like, okay, when technology is mature enough, we need to develop a standard to increase the interoperability between different stakeholders, between different participants, which is still one of the very strong needs for standardization. But another thing we call that market driving standards, which are before a technology or before a market is mature enough. We need standards to pave the road for the industry. The autonomous driving standards level 0 to level 5 is a good example, because without such kind of standard, people will not have a common ground for discussion. So everybody is saying, hey, I'm doing autonomous driving. So who can tell if company A's autonomous driving is better than company B? We need some kind of standards like that. So I think that's I would say that one of the good things from developing standards. And also standards can help you build your ecosystem around your own products and services, and people work together to make a bigger cake. But on the other side, we are also saying that, hey, if you are not at the table, you are probably on the menu, which means you need to join the standards development, which to define the future, to shape the future. Otherwise, you will be ending up with just following the standards developed by other guys. So joining standards development from the very beginning is very important. And IEEE standards development has been completely open to everybody. So I do welcome and encourage you to participate in any IEEE standards that you may be interested.
Well, thank you so much for this response. And yeah, I think it covers the question in full. And let's allow our audience to ask any questions if they have them, because currently we don't have them. And if there will be no questions, you shared your contact information. After event, there we will distribute the recording to some to basically to the publicly accessible video channels. So they will be able to get back to you, and we also will be, if we have your permission, if somebody will approach us, we can run the introduction.
Sure, of course, my pleasure.
Well, thank you so much for this. And yeah, we are currently we are having like around 30 minutes, actually 34 minutes break. So, and after the break, we are returning at 2:30 Kiev time, and it will be we will start with the speech of Alex Norta, who is the head of IEEE Finland blockchain group. Thank you so much for being with us, and we look forward to seeing you in 34 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.